This is Abyzou. She comes to the game next week as a Shard Summon event starts. Let's have a look into her kit, see what she does and how we can prep for the Shard Summon. Hello and welcome all, I'm Mystical, this is Mystical Gaming, we're back into Watcher Realms and this is Abyzou. She is a Shard Summon, she starts next week apparently. That was all in the April preview stuff they gave us in game. Let's have a look at Abyzou. She looks absolutely brilliant and also a little bit unstable. You've got to respect people who carry around spare arms, or at least worry that they're not all there. Does look absolutely fantastic and also not completely stable. Right, Abyzou, who harbours malice towards humans, okay, is terrifying presence. She strengthens herself through slaughter, okay, wielding the Psyche Force to vent her anger towards creatures of Tyan. Okay, talent restores 15 rage when an enemy dies in range. This effect can be triggered one time every half a second. Doesn't say whether she has to kill them or whether they just die in range, so that will probably need a bit of a look at. Her basic attack is just a AoE magic damage. It does 100% AoE damage up to 5 enemies and we can get that up to 110. Then it's straight onto her ultimate. Her ultimate is an auto, so we can't trigger it as and when we want. Good and bad to that. And it's a straight 700. She doesn't get anything when placed down. She deals 100% damage 3 times to up to 10 enemies in range. Okay, so 300% damage, 10 enemies in range. It doesn't say whether it would be the same 10 each time, I suppose. It's 3 attacks. Every one target hit grants 1 stack of Psyche Force to the hero, and we can up the damage by 60% and lower the cost by 100. Right, now Psyche Force, 12 seconds, each stack increases attack up to 3%, and we can get up to 10 stacks, so we can increase our attack by up to 30%. So that is like almost a free Infernal Raw set gives us a bonus of 40%, but she's getting 30% just from this Psyche Force, and it's triggering every 12 seconds. When they hit a Psyche Force and hits an enemy with a basic attack, it grants a ground effect area which deals 10% damage per second for 3 seconds. Airborne units take half damage instead. We can up the damage by 2%, 5%, and we can increase duration from 3 to 5 seconds. Alright, this all looks good. I think she's absolutely brilliant. And there is her faction Unforbidden Knowledge 2, so that's her faction Lord skill, and it'd be the... let's just have a quick check. It is the same, isn't it? We come up here, 10% and 20. Yeah, so absolutely it's the same skill there, no changes there. I think she looks awesome. She really does. She really does look awesome. Now the event is a Shard Summon event, so let's look at some of the other past fusions. We've got the Pyros fusion, which I think was the first Epic Lord they did. He required 75 fragments or shards to be able to summon him, and the event gave 125 available. Pretty generous for these events, really. They aren't that hard to do, but let's not miss out on something just because we think it's too easy. Now, they are split into events and trials, so the trials part of it is always much easier than the events part of it. So if you're looking at it, have a look at the events, we'll see which events we can do, and you want to smash those out and then just pick up the remaining ones during the trials. The more recent one, the Vladof one, they made it the same again. It was 75 for him, 125 available. This time they loaded more on the event side and less on the trials side. So this time there was only 50 available on the trials side, so smash all of those out without any great issues whatsoever. That's 50 in the bag, and you only need 25 then, which are available from all the other events. And the other events they had, we've got the normal stuff, the Duel of the Champions. I'd definitely say Duel of the Champions is worth doing. It's all very easy, realistically. There's no extra stamina or anything like that cost. There's no extra diamonds you have to use or gems. You can just literally go in there, use all your arena tokens, and you can smash through that without any great problems whatsoever. The other events they have on is Tales of the Smith. This is always one to watch out for because they generally separate the shards into a 2 and a 3, and the 3 is at the end of the Tales of the Smith event. So if you plan on doing that one, hold your gold and watch out for it. Brave Conquest events they'll always have in there. Now, they generally require you to use some of your extra stamina, which isn't an issue really, but just bear in mind if you're going to plumb for those, then make sure you've got enough extra stamina available. Corridor of Glory. Now, absolutely brilliant event. You'd only need 25 extra fragments or shards, sorry, from this, so the Corridor of Glory may be one that you're going for because you can tie in there with getting the extra legendary skill crystals as well. So you might want to think about doing those. If you are thinking of going that way forward, think about how much XP you'll need and how many farming champions you'll need to actually be able to farm up and level up things, because remember, the low level stuff gives you more experience for the Corridor of Glory compared to the number of XP you get. They're not useful, but once you farm them up, you can't just farm up 2 and 3 stars and get nowhere else. You're going to need to spend some form of XP eventually to level up your 5-star stuff. So although that's where the bulk of your points comes from, you can't only do that, because otherwise you just end up with a vault full of 4-star champions. Now, the next thing is they will have on spiritual altar events. You don't really need that much. You don't need to save up for them, I don't think, or you never have done so far. This is all subject to change. We don't know if the game's going to put in any inflation going forward. Now, if you've done all your summons already this weekend, then no great shakes. I don't think you're in a bad position, but I will probably save because I do want to take part in whatever they've got going forward for the shard summon calendar. So I do want the new Epic Lord from the Cultist. I think she looks really good. She looks really good fun. So I will be going for her. So I may well save some of my shards for the shard summon in there, but you only need, theoretically, going on the Vladoff fusion, you'd only need to do 25. But they may shorten this down, they may expand it out. The other thing I don't know is I don't know if they're ever planning to do anything with extra shards, because I, in my account, I'm sure not the only person, has extra shards there. I can't be the only person who's got shards left over. I don't even know where I got some of these from, to be honest. I don't know what they're going to do with these, or if there's something to do with them afterwards, or whether they're going to do a point where you can get enough to get 2 of them so you can do the A1 on them. I don't know. But you might want to think if they're using them in the future, if they're not. But bear in mind that you do only technically need 75, and anything above that, as it stands at the moment, is a waste. So do expect sometime next week to see a little thing down the bottom here telling us about it, and that would give us a view of the actual calendar. When we see the actual calendar, we'll put my teeth in. When I see that, we'll drop a video on what's actually happening with it and how we're going to use it, and the events we feel like that are best, or the ones we want to try out for. And we'll see if need be, if you want, we'll do it on a daily, so you can just see where you are on a little daily check to make sure you're there. If not, we'll just do one every now and again, just to make sure that everyone is going for this and getting the champion. Generally easy enough to get, they shouldn't cause a problem, but you don't want to miss out just because you think it's too easy and you forget to do a couple of things. There she is, looking good, available next week. This time next week we'll be starting, so just go careful with your resources and make sure that you've got enough around so you don't have an issue with this, or you haven't caused yourself an issue. Now, if you're on a new account and you've just started the game, these are still very much for you. You can actually go for them. It's not an issue if you've got a brand new account. Your account has to normally be 4 days old and have done some point in the campaign. It shouldn't be an issue to go for it. And if you are entitled to go for it, if your account is brand new, then make sure you do, because she'll be awesome for your account, at least on paper, but they're not that hard to go for. Right, thank you very much for your time. That concludes everything I've got today, and I'll see you all in a video tomorrow where I will probably be pulling some ancients and hoping for the best. Right, till later. Thanks very much. Bye.